wanted to visit with Sandra today because I lost 3 dogs in a 7-month period, and it was the hardest time in my entire life. My health deteriorated quickly. Mentally, I was checked out for months. 3 years later, I'm still experiencing PTSD. I can't go a day or a night where my dogs don't make a sound, or if they trip, if they choke, if they have an upset stomach. I don't still worry. I feel like I need to rush them to the emergency room, to the emergency vet. It's still very real for me.
So Jennifer, thank you so much for coming here today. I understand that you've had some loss in your life, is that right?
That's true.
Some animals that have made their transition.
Yes, we lost 3 of our dogs.
3 animals in 7 months. I'm so sorry.
We also rescued him.
We're a rescuer. You're a rescue family.
We rescued most of our dogs except for one.
And don't they rescue us?
Right, who rescued who?
Yeah, exactly.
There was a Facebook post, and a lady said, my friend is getting rid of her puppies. Somebody come get this dog before her boyfriend kills it. He's threatening to shoot it.
Oh my.
And I replied, I'm on my way. Tell me where to go.
Wow.
He was just in a little cage, and he was shaking. It was cold.
He's telling me right away, he's showing me that somehow you knew him when you met him. That he, what we call a soul dog. Even though he wasn't with you as long as the others, it's almost like he was integrated into your soul. Did you almost feel like you understood him? Maybe more like you could almost communicate with him.
I felt like I could communicate with him because when you would talk to him, he would do the head tilt, and his ears would perk up, or he would talk back to you. You'd ask him, do you want to go for a walk? And he would whoa, and just raise all kinds of.
So he was very
vocal.
Communicative. Yes. So he's telling me that you knew him very well. You more than knew him as a dog, you knew him as a soul.
Yes.
So there was a familiarity.
So when I was telling the story of how Peanut passed or how Tinkerbell passed, Sandra already knew. It's like she could complete my sentences for me. A couple of times she would finish my sentences. It was allergies. It was a heart condition. And it absolutely was. So they were talking to her. They were telling her how they were feeling. My nightmare started the night that we had to take him to the emergency vet. He had pancreatitis, and they said, well, we'll keep him overnight. He'd never been alone overnight. He'd always been with the pack.
Yeah.
And they leave him alone. They don't stay with them.
Yes.
And he had an IV, and he was in a cage, and he was alone, and I wasn't there, and it was dark. And he chewed through his IV, and he bled all night long.
Oh, gosh.
And
I'm so sorry.
I never should have left him there. I thought I was doing what was best for him.
Was this what caused him to pass?
No.
He came back home with you?
No, he never came back home. Oh, the medications did terrible things to him. He didn't feel good. We would give him chicken at night just to encourage him to take the pills. I remember sitting on the kitchen floor and just crying because I'm covered in peanut butter and he's not eating. He's not taking his pills. I'm trying to shove pills down. It was just, such a struggle for him. His was a 7-month trial and error. We didn't know how to fix him. And the money that we spent on him was astronomical. But I would have done it all over again. But there's still the guilt. Did I give up too soon? Is there something I could have done more?
He's telling me that was a failure to thrive because the situation he was born into was so toxic.
Yeah.
a lot of screaming and yelling. Even as a young puppy, he might not have been nourished well, and the mother maybe wasn't nourished. So I think that might have been part of what happened with his autoimmune and his physical problems. Yeah. It may have been genetic, but I also think it may have been nurture, or a lack of nurture when he was first a puppy.
And it was during COVID.
Oh, all this.
So everything had shut down.
Okay,
we couldn't be with him.
Must have passed in 2020.
May 12th of 2020.
And you can't even, right, when all the restrictions were there.
So we couldn't go in with him.
Mm-hmm.
They took him from me, and they said, we'll call you. And I couldn't be with him, and they were so busy because they were so short-handed. Everybody had to be distanced from each other. And she said, we can FaceTime with you tonight. And I couldn't even do that with him because they were so short-handed. Mm-hmm. And then when the doctor called me the next morning, he said, he's not going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, you're going to have to make the decision. He goes, I'm so sorry, we tried.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to come in the next day. And we knew everybody at the vet at this point. Peanut had been there so many times.
Right.
Still, 3 years, I still miss him every day. I think of him every day. I feel him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel him every day.
He's what we call your heart dog.
Yeah.
He is your heart dog, even though you only had him for those 5 years. He's telling me, Mom, you gave me such a good life. Even when it was bad, I wouldn't have traded any of it. And he wants you to also know that there's no sadness here. He says, when you think about me, I want you to think about your heart and how we are heart connected, because I'm your heart dog.
Yeah, he is my heart. I think he sends me hearts. So these are so weird, but they're urine stains in our backyard. These popped up the day after he passed.
The day after he passed.
Yeah.
And he used to sit on your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. On your chest.
And then I find hearts everywhere. This is a potato chip on the floor. And it's a heart.
It's the shape of a heart.
And then a drop of water is a heart.
Look at that. Look at that.
And I find hearts everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they're from him.
Peanut, sweetheart, are you sending your mom the shape of hearts? He said, yes, I am, and you're receiving all of them. You're receiving all of them. Yeah. This is so beautiful.
When Sandra confirmed that, these hearts are for Peanut, that was the greatest feeling. That's my boy. He's still talking to me. He's still showing me how much he loves me.
He's also saying, I know I didn't get to be with you all that long, but he said, I milked it. The time that we were together, I just got chills, so I know he's saying that. He's saying, I lived so fully with you during that time, and I loved every minute that I got to be with you and got to be in the family. I know it's been 3 years, but it feels like yesterday. Mm-hmm. And to have them here and to hear that they're doing good and they're happy and they're still visiting, and I'm picking up on all their signs. It
just means
that.
the world to me. So thank
that.
you for connecting me back with them.
Absolutely, and keep looking for those signs.
Sandra's amazing. She connects in a way that every person that is an animal lover wishes they could connect with their dogs, their cats, their horses, their ferrets. So pre-session, I was very nervous because you never know what to expect. You never know what's going to come out. I didn't know if they were going to be angry with me. This was all your fault. I died because you did this and that. Lots of guilt involved with that. Post-session, the guilt is gone. I'm filled with love. I felt them come through. It meant the world to me. I got very emotional because of it. I miss them dearly. And it was great to be able to talk to them again, communicate with them, tell them how much I love them, things that you want to say to them as you're putting them to sleep but can't because you're too busy in the moment. I got to do that today, and that meant a lot to me.